Delen ñëfe doole ñëfe gëmoo leen yàlla waay
Legend in the making. Never thought about how long the dream would take when your confidence is breaking and you're fighting not to give in to temptation. Champion no be easy. Even a silver spoon needs food to feed a fool full of privilege. Money no be talent, talent be divine heritage. That's your leverage. Hustle every day where you know they see top. Bank alert still no drop.
I'm the brother, yeah.
Guess who's back? It's your girl Mariah, and this is the In the Mix podcast, a show dedicated to celebrating, loving, adoring the diversity, the variety, the amazingness of African music. And I'm passionate about putting African music at the forefront in the way that it deserves. We have an exciting episode today with the Herman Suede, a young budding artist out of Ghana. We talk a little bit about what it's like being a producer, a songwriter, a singer, and applying all of that to your craft as a young artist, still learning the ropes. What it's like, being acknowledged by some of your heroes and being an opener for them. We discuss a little bit about the Ghanaian music industry, the African music industry at large, and the challenges that comes with that, but also still pushing beyond that and making sure your craft speaks for itself. Herman was a great interview. Thank you guys so much for listening. This would be a great time to subscribe. Today we have an exciting episode with one of my favorite people, very talented, young, gifted artist who's gotten recognition from the likes of Sarkodie, Manifest, Will I Am, Timbaland, with hits like One by One, Kumbaya, Nakwali. Herman Suede is in the building. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me. What's up?
Of course. I want to get straight into it. So I know that you're attending at Chelsea University at the moment. My biggest question is, how are you balancing, being a superstar and still trying to finish your education?
Honestly, for real, even though for time management, which I'm managing, try my best to manage. I don't know how else to be making it through, but I mean, it's something I'm passionate about, and so I'm willing to you feel me? I'm not willing to compromise it for anything. So just trying to find ways around it, still making the music work.
When I was preparing for this interview, I was talking to your team, and your team is mostly made up of your family, close friends. How do you think that has helped you in your career, working with people that are related to you?
It definitely has helped because they are my support system. You feel me?
Right.
They understand me on a more personal, a deeper level, and so support from them just hits different. You feel me? It helps knowing that there's people who genuinely have your back and want the best for you. So something I'm appreciative of.
And do you have any advice for? I feel like a lot of African kids, their parents will tell them, you should be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. What advice do you have for people that don't necessarily have the support from their family to be a creative?
I'll say, don't compromise your passion for anything. There's ways around it. There different people. Not everyone maybe is blessed to have support in relation to what they have a passion for to pursue. But at the end of the day, your passion is yours. Not everyone will understand the depth of your passion even. So if you feel truly aligned to something, I think you should chase it at all costs. Find the most convenient way that you can kickstart your passion and begin indulging your passion your own self. Because for me, before studios and everything, I literally picked up my Nintendo Wii. I had this game on it, singing, karaoke. And I got a microphone from that, plugged it into an old laptop, and from there, that's how I really got I kickstarted this passion of mine. So from there, I started downloading beats from online. She was very organic, just because I had a passion for something, and that curiosity led me to have, you feel me, chase this passion at all costs. So I started just working on music by myself. Over time, I perfected my writing, and the story goes on since then. Like, you feel me?
I'm glad you mentioned writing because that's something that I really wanted to. I think your lyrics are really good. And I mean, from what I've been able to see, you write all your lyrics yourself. What kind of
Yeah,
inspires
yeah.
some of the lyrics that you write?
See, there's different things when I'm writing. Like, there's
Mhm.
times where I let the beat, whatever beat I'm popping on, like, and whatever emotions they evoke, kind of guide me as to what the theme for what I write about is. But then there's a lot of times too, I like to put myself in the shoes of other people to kind of reimagine their experiences and be the vessel through which those stories are told. And then there's times where I write about things I'm personally inspired by, or have been curious about, or have been impacted by. You feel me? And so, depending on whichever scenario I'm in, then I'll choose. But a lot of the times, I like to just pick a topic and reimagine an experience or tell the story as a relate more in a way that's most relatable to my fans or to the audience or whoever I imagine and wants to feel a certain way.
Absolutely. In terms of beat production, so I know obviously you've been playing piano for years. We actually, I don't know if you remember, we actually had the same piano teacher back in the day. And I haven't done anything with
Yeah,
it. It's nice to see that you're
yeah,
applying it to your music. What have you learned
for sure.
from taking piano, which are classical instruments, and applying it to something like Afrobeats, hip life, alter that the genres that
Mhm.
you touch?
I mean, I think as with anything that you have a passion for, it's important to know what the roots of it are, where all this musicality even stems from. Like, as far as I study Western, I study like classical music, and so like because I wanted to understand more about instruments and build my confidence with the technicality of what I'm doing. You feel me? Beyond
Mhm.
just like vibing to a beat, I want to understand the ways different melodies can impact different people or invoke certain emotions. Like, I'm very intentional about that shit. So I'll say learning an instrument is very important because like it makes sure it makes sure that you're very well connected to the art itself and you have a better understanding of what you're doing. And it just allows you to ideate better, experiment better, while still like maintaining the professional quality you need to with what you do. Right? Yeah. I feel like it makes it easier as far as understanding music and even understanding the music you listen to as well.
Absolutely. I think that makes I
Yeah.
think that's what makes you a true musician. So many people don't necessarily play instruments anymore, and playing instruments I think
Very
helps to really
for
understand what
sure.
it is that you're passing to people. So you've worked with Sarkodie, Manifest, all these people. Do you have any other dream features that you're hoping to get?
I have a ton. I have a ton. I have too many, child. Um, so like, there's honestly too many to choose from. But right now, I'll say Willow Smith right now. Willow
I
Smith,
love Will Smith.
um, Frank Ocean,
Mhm.
Burna Boy. Yeah, no, yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned Burna Boy as well. I've been watching your performances. You're very energetic. You like to dance. You like to engage with the crowd. Is Burna Boy one of your performance inspirations?
yeah, for sure. But my number one performance inspiration is Michael Jackson. I can't believe I forgot that.
Of course, of
Yeah, Michael
course.
Jackson. That was a very big like inspiration for me early on in discovering art as a whole. Michael Jackson, from his aura, his the ambience he creates with his shows, the energy, the dance moves, the level of organization as
Mhm.
far as how he just executes his art as a whole. I feel is exceptional for me.
Yeah, he's a legend for a reason. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So, as a young artist in the Ghanaian music industry, you have headlined your own show after prep. And one thing that I think Ghanaian musicians struggle with is that sort of efficient concerts, that the starting on time, the removing technical difficulties, having everything move smoothly. What have you learned in having your own headline show? And I mean, you've only done it one time, and then what have you learned through that process?
So yeah, I did the first show in 2019. That was after prep. And it was an amazing experience overall. Like around 800 people came. It was my first ticketed event as well. And there was a lot I learned. Definitely, that it's not easy. Charlie,
Yeah.
that thing is not easy to do. Not easy to host your own show. And I made sure to have been a part throughout the planning process with all the logistics involved, because I just wanted to achieve that level of intentionality. I wanted, like, for me, I want the lights, the sound effects, everything to have just, you feel me, been in alignment with each other.
Absolutely.
So there was a lot that I learned, even as far as what is involved, like technically with these things. And then also the reason I haven't done it since then was because I did it in 2019, and after was Corona.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. After was Corona. But I feel like the process as a whole was very organic. Like, I remember going to school to like preach the gospel of Herman Suede to my fans and like invite them, like, pull up, let's jam. And yeah, the turnout was amazing. So my
Yeah.
day ones all pulled up, like 800 people singing all this, the melodies that I've just been creating. It's crazy. Like, it was a vibe. It was a vibe to see my people, you feel me, just jamming, and to have been able to provide them more than just the MP3 that they listen to all the time. Like feel a part of me and my energy. Yeah.
So I would say I think your branding strategy is very smart, because of the way you sort of aligned it with your age and with your age group. And you're a student, so you're aligning with students. After prep vibe, you're touring with Sarkodie and the school tour. You're going to all these boarding schools. Tell me about how you think that might transform as you age.
Other than the fact that my audience would grow with me, I think that that's always been a difficult question, because it's then like your audience of people that you have started with and that have grown with you now. Like, now that you all have grown, are you meant to forget about like previous generations of the Herman Suede lovers? You feel me?
Yeah.
And then how do you now cater to the older generation? So honestly, just put that all aside and do me. At the end of the day, whoever gravitates towards the sound, the real art, you feel me, they would, and I have love to offer them. You feel me? I don't think I'm specific any longer when it comes to like marketing myself to a certain audience. You feel me? But I just keep the music true to self, and everyone that gravitates towards it does. So I feel like my fan base is now just is a wide range. We have grandmas singing Herman Suede, so you feel me? Grandmas, grandparents, people's girlfriends, everyone can sing Herman Suede. You feel me? Everyone loves. I appreciate it.
We've talked about your dream features. We've talked about your family being involved in your process and how you will age with your audience. Would you define yourself as a particular genre? Because you've tried everything. I think you've rapped, you've done a little bit of piano, you've done some hip life. Would you put yourself in a certain category?
I mean, one thing that I definitely would say is, despite whatever genre I'm doing, I make sure to incorporate my culture, my garments, my African tradition. And so, in a sense, I guess I can say I do Afrofusion, because I'm pretty much taking, you feel me, the culture from home, mixing it with whatever else I'm inspired by. So I feel like Afrofusion describes me best. Although I usually don't like to, as you said, like put myself into a box, into any bracket. You feel me? Just because I'm inspired by so much. Like, I surprise myself each and every time, like, by what I'm inspired by. So it makes it hard to even put me in a box, because I just follow wherever the energy, wherever the vibrations are about. I think Afrofusion can describe me best.
Absolutely. Do you feel a certain? You mentioned your Ghana roots, which I think is very important. I think Ghana, sort of the most popular language and the biggest ethnic group is the Asantes, the Akans. And so a lot of our music and you hear mostly Asante tree in songs. Do you feel a certain responsibility to represent Ghanland and to speak Ghan and to show that you are a Ghan boy in your music?
Yeah, 100% do. I don't lie to you because um, the mere fact that I'm even gone, like, and what I experience in a daily is with I can't be the most dominant like dialect in Ghana. There's like there's so many times people approach me on that type of P like, why are you not incorporating more tree? I'm like, I'm true to myself, you mean I'm Ghana, so that's what I'm gonna put in it. As much as I would love for audiences to relate with me with what I sing, I don't think it's right to, you feel me, change who I am to care to someone else, you feel me?
Yeah.
So if you don't understand God by force, you have to learn it, you feel me? Like you actually have to learn that just to understand what I'm saying. Like I see that all the time, like people are like on Twitter, they're like, Herman Suede has me learning God, you feel me? Yeah, that really should be how it is because that's who I am. And through my music, you have a piece of me. And so I'm gonna speak the language that represents me to the like you feel me?
Yeah.
Represents me the most that yeah, you feel what
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I don't even know why, people are so insistent on even understanding what you might say. Because I mean, we sing Nigerian music, we don't understand what they're saying. We sing sometimes French
yeah,
songs.
for sure.
So I think I
Yeah,
appreciate that perspective. I think it's very important to push the narrative that, we're all different, we all come from different backgrounds, we're all representing different
yeah,
things. And also you being, such a young artist, I think, coming into the industry and changing the status quo is important. That like we should have more people that are speaking Ga in their songs or Ewe or Dagomba or whatever language they come from.
yeah,
So I really appreciate that.
sure.
As a young Ghanaian artist, what do you think the Ghanaian music industry can do to make things easier for you and other artists trying to make it?
I probably would say I just wish there were more avenues to like showcase underground talent. You know what usually happens shows and stuff. I mean, as much as this what the standard is, I feel like a new way to go about things or a way in which we can better showcase underground talent is like so imagine if shows like show whereas we have the opening acts, you feel me? And it's like opening acts pretty much come on when barely anybody is even there, you feel me?
Yeah.
And I feel like if shows were set up in a way that like probably they intersperse these acts. So after like someone like a Mr. Easy, you feel me? There's the
Yeah.
chance for someone who probably hasn't accumulated as much of the exposure to come on and also showcase what they do in front of the eyes of so many people. I feel like that will make a big difference and really reduce the burden on artists as far as being able to get the ears to hear what they do, you feel me, and garner the same exposure they
And so, who would you say is the biggest act that you've opened for,
need.
or your favorites rather than the biggest?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I opened for Sarkodie when I was in New York, and that was my first performance in America as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the Palladium in Times Square.
That's a
I
huge
pulled up
stage, yeah.
on Sark, and I opened for him in New York. That was big, you feel me? I love that. Big love to him, big love to Angel, Sark, family. You feel me?
Absolutely. Okay, so
Yeah.
at this point in the show, I like to do a little game where I'm just going to ask you to choose between two options. We call it this or that. Um, we can start easy. I'm going to start with something like, so if I say fufu or wache, you'll tell me what you prefer and why. Yeah, me too. I prefer fufu. Okay. So let's get into music. Pop or R&B?
All right. R&B. R&B is, I feel, is more soothing to me, and I feel like the melodies are more experimental because The R&B, bro, those people are really flexing their vocals on us when they sing. So
Yeah.
it's always interesting to hear the different ways they can like manipulate their voice, create all these beautiful sounds. I like it. I like R&B.
Speaking of manipulating your
Yeah.
voice, do you have a vocal coach? Is there some training you do to maintain your voice and make sure that you're sounding good all the time?
Oh yeah. Every now and again, I hit up Coach Freeman,
Okay.
vocal coach in Ghana. Yeah, he's been very helpful. But I think for the most part, a lot of that vocal manipulation goes in. It just comes from me in the studio and my willingness to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Just you see, you catch me in the studio. My voice is tweaked. Like I'm at all sorts of different things just to see, like test, like my capacity for me as an artist and what my voice can do. I love to experiment.
Very cool. Okay, so staying within music genres, Azonto or hip life?
Yeah, I'll say Azunto
Okay, why?
because Azunto, Azunto, I like the rhythm of Azunto. As far as you know how the signature Azunto beats is cha cha
Mm-hmm.
cha cha cha. I feel like that was a staple. That was something very iconic that um, it was able to like gain global global like appreciation. Feel me? When that rhythm comes on, I feel like it just hits different. That Azunto
Absolutely.
club, that cha 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 cha. Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think that it has a lot of roots in Ghana culture as well. I can think of artists like Gasmilla. A lot of African music sort of comes from that Palungu beats, actually, were the basis for a lot of things. So it's
yeah.
sad that Ghana doesn't get as much recognition for as much as what you've contributed to the movement.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a bit more specific. I know you've featured one of these artists, but I'd want to know what you think. RJZ or Darko Vibes?
All right. Crazy. I feel like they both have different auras, different energies, and you feel it through the music. I don't think I can choose.
Fair enough.
I don't think I can choose.
But you're a fan of Lamem.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you worked with, apart from RJZ, have you worked with any of the other members of the group?
Nah, I actually haven't. And what's funny is the first ever like studio that I really used to go to, that was where Lamem, Joey B, them all like they all used to go there as well. So even coming up, I was introduced to Dark Fires and stuff from a producer Kuvi. And he was like, yo, this is Lamem, they're about to go crazy, you feel me? And truly they did that, you feel me? So I mean, earlier on there, they were blessing my ears with the bangers. When I would be in the studio in my little corner, I'll just be listening. Like, yeah, I love Lamem. I love Lamem. I haven't gotten a chance to work with any of the others though.
What
Oh,
about working?
Spacely. Adam just reminded me. Spacely. I worked with Spacely on the trap song. He didn't want it in the archives.
So will that ever
Yeah,
come out or no?
let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
So you've worked with Kuvi a little bit, you've worked with Guilty Beats, you've done some work with Mr. Easy.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's
Yeah.
composing their own music and sort of producing some of their own music, what have you learned from producers that you work with?
Um. I feel like I've just been even more inspired and motivated to keep going because I see the same drive and that same passion in them when I work. And
Mhm.
so it's just a reminder to me that you're not alone in this, you feel me? And that art is a beautiful space and there's a reason why I have the passion I do for it. So I feel like with each and every session, I'm just motivated more. I see that same hunger and that same drive to create magic in these different producers or even different artists. And so I love having these sessions.
Very cool. So back to my this or that questions. Rema or Omale?
Hmm. That's actually a hard one. Now, Rema has some crazy songs in my playlist, but I feel like I like hmm, difficult to say. I'll go with Omale. I'll go with
Okay, why?
Omale. I think it's just because of this one song, Infinity. That
Mm-hmm.
song just hit different.
50 is a banger.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you know.
So, I mean, Omale has been in the news recently for a lot of controversy with how he performed with a fan. Do you consider certain boundaries when you're interacting with fans?
You know, uh, it's difficult to say honestly because when you see the love that you receive from fans, like trust me, someone's boyfriend is not in your mind when you see a fan. Let alone when you see a beautiful in the crowd, you're like, hey, there's no my man in the back of your mind. I'll be real. And what was he meant to have done? Like, be honest. What is he meant to have done?
Yeah. I
She
mean,
should have. She should have.
yeah, it
I feel
got
like she should.
it got completely blown out of proportion. I think it was just a bit. It's all part of the performance. It was just having fun, and
Yeah.
girls have been going on
He's
stage
a
and dancing with performers for forever. So I didn't understand why it was such a
yeah.
big deal personally, but I think you kind of answered this already, to be honest. But in terms of performance, Burna Boy or Ashake?
Burna Boy.
Yeah, that would have been my guess. Ashake, I think has grown a lot in terms of performance, and he's like a very good performer. But Burna Boy I mean, it's just seeing him live is the most amazing thing, and I would say that
Yes.
everybody has to see it. It's very very different. Have you seen him live before?
I have
Mm-hmm.
one of Manifest's shows.
Mm-hmm.
That time where Burna Boy put up, I was in the front row. I'd even perform before me. Normally, artists should be in their corner,
All right.
minding their business and everything is swaggy. Nah, I jumped over the barricade. I was front line. Before me, I was in front row. I was singing Burna. Yeah. Burna is the boss. Burna is the boss.
Did you get an opportunity to speak with him?
Nah, I didn't.
Mm. Hopefully one day soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
School, Manifest.
Herman, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. I do have one more question that I ask all my guests. So our name in the mix is inspired by legendary producer Apietus. When you hear that in the mix tagline, what's the first song that comes to mind?
Apietus in the mix. Let me think of which song. Hmm. Let's think. I forgot it, honestly. I forgot it. I forgot it. I forgot it. I forgot
This
it.
is
That tag is so legend.
very
Almost every one of the Gucci Daniel songs have that tag in it. Like, if you hear, you know it's a banger drop. If you play me even 5 seconds of any song with that tag, I will know that song. But right now,
yeah, Blackie right now.
Okay. I remember. I just remember. I am my shorty.
Uh, yeah. Legend. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, Herman Suede, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your insights. Again, I'm a big fan for the way that you're producing and putting so much effort into your craft and chasing your passions, which is something it's not an easy thing to do at all, especially in markets like Ghana. And we're the team here in the mix is rooting for you. Thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been Herman Suede. You know where to find me. You know where to follow me. Social
Yeah.
media everywhere. Herman Suede. The name is right there. From here, stay connected to the boy. Stay in tune with my frequency for me. And I have new music coming soon. I'm dropping my next single is called How Dare You. And for you to find out when, as I said, follow the boy.
Okay. We'll be on socials. Herman Suede, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything.
My niggas in the Ghana side. Haters gonna be running when the fire come. Hustle for the cash, where I'm coming from. Champion with the whole number, talk too much.
Nigga know the whole, but I make 2 horse. Make I hit light space, make I chop jack doors. You can get it for the low, I can never take a loss. I'm the nigga with the sauce, nigga yams raw dog.
And if I did with your ex, brother, making no vex. Latex, I'ma pull up in a minute, no stress.
Big Benz, I'ma pull up and I hit it, no flex. All 10s, I'ma get it with the commas, cause I'm blessed.
We be blessed, and we be champions. My champion will be easy. You know if you rush me, my champion will be